Welcome back, friends and family of the internet and other watchers on the wall. I have tried 3 times to record this video for you, and there's something going on with X. Like one of the videos I pop on for some reason totally blitzes out my computer. So we're going to start this way and work back to the X account with these ice cream trucks. So, what am I talking about? Somebody said, Sam, did you see Missing Children Virginia ice cream truck? So I started digging and I have found some very interesting stuff. I hope that you stay and watch this because some of you by now know that I am the one who did where the children videos of the children in the Maui fires and then went to Maui looking for the children. And you can find that series under the playlist, Where Are the Children? But children are near and dear in my heart. I have a master's degree in education. I worked with kids in public school systems for over 7 years. I've homeschooled children. I seeded a Montessori private school in my community. I sit on the 4-H advisory board, and I ran our youth group at my church for 3 years. So kids are my specialty and my heart, right? I'm also a mother. Ever heard of the midnight ice cream trucks? Now, this is 6 years ago. So, why am I showing you this? Because there's something about ice cream trucks that pull like clowns this childhood fear and desire up and out of us. I preface this post by saying that I'm a pretty skeptical person and don't often visit these types of communities. That said, I've experienced something so ominous and unexplainable that I'm now seeking advice wherever I can find it. While I'm cynical about most stories here, I do find the responses are often sincere and helpful. That's what I need right now. Please read this with an open mind and let me know any thoughts you may have. A few months ago, I moved to a small college town with a plan to finish my associate at the community college before transferring into university. I found a room on Craigslist in a house shared with one other occupant. My roommate, Joel, was a reclusive stoner type. As I got to know him, I learned that he was an enthusiastic believer in conspiracy theories and supernatural occurrences. We often shared joint. Well, he told me about the hauntings, black holes, passing through Earth, chemtrails, and that sort of crap. Actually, chemtrails are provable. I recently wrote a book, Growing Under a Poisoned Sky. You can find that on Amazon, eBay, Kindle, even Walmart and Walden Books. Chemtrails are a conspiracy, but stratospheric aerosol spraying is not. And I can prove it to you in the book that I published. Anyway, one day he showed me an online discussion where several people reported a similar experience. They recalled nights when an ice cream truck had driven through their neighborhoods, playing a strange, discordant jingle, and it would come very late when the streets were empty. Those who spotted the truck from their windows recalled feeling very afraid, and the eerie song was said to cause recurring nightmares. The community dubbed them midnight ice cream trucks, abbreviated as MICTs. The reports came from several locations in the US, and one user had made a graph which linked the sightings to areas with unusually high numbers of missing children or people. I responded with my usual skepticism, but Joel insisted on showing me one more thing, a link to a sound file. It was supposedly the jingle the MICTs would play when they drove about. The tune was strange and chaotic with a churning rhythm and frantic melody that didn't seem to make any musical sense. It also seemed there were other sounds behind the notes that couldn't quite be deciphered. I'll admit it gave me a slightly uneasy feeling, which also made me feel stupid for getting sucked in. And I told Joel that. Like other such reports, these were extraordinary claims with very little evidence. The following day, I found the jingle from the recording had gotten stuck in my head despite having only heard it for a few seconds. It would come up into my mind frequently during periods of silence. I wondered if the strange tune had been deliberately engineered to have this type of earworm effect. Perhaps it had been produced as an advanced hoax or a viral marketing campaign. If so, it was very effective. Soon to begin to experience instances where I actually heard the jingle. The first time it happened, I was in my car listening to the radio. Without warning, the tune came on. My heart skipped a beat before I realized I was just hearing the intro into Wouldn't It Be Nice by the Beach Boys. I felt very stupid, but also conflicted. I could have sworn I'd heard the jingle briefly, but it was much more plausible than I'd imagined it. At least it seemed that way until the same thing occurred 3 more times. I heard the jingle when turning on the TV in the background at the 7-Eleven and from the stereo of a passing car. Thing is, it never lasted long enough to be certain that I truly heard it. After 2 days of this, I was feeling legitimately bothered and wanted an explanation. And he goes on to talk about how he believed he was hallucinating, couldn't think of any root cause behind the sound clip itself. Skeptical as I was, the audio recording seemed to have messed with my head. I began keeping my earbuds in during times of quiet, using music to keep the jingle out of my thoughts. This was, frankly, embarrassing. I hope to shape this condition without having to explain it to anyone else. That night, I heard the sound outside of my house at around 2 in the morning. Joel had left town to visit his parents, and I had the place completely to myself for 5 days. It was hot, so I'd kept the bedroom windows open. Let me stop right here and say this. I was unaware until my daughter moved to Seattle, Washington, and my other daughter moved to New Zealand. And I made a friend from Sweden that there are actually places in the world that do not have air conditioning, either a air conditioning unit in your window or a central AC unit. See, here in Southeast Louisiana, it is like a swamp. We run our air conditionings, and I am not joking, 9 months out of the year. We have to use an air conditioner because the temperatures are above 90 degrees. So, for someone that didn't know, some people actually do not have window units or AC of any sort. Leaving the window open is the only way to get a breeze when temperatures get a little high in the summer. I was watching Netflix and starting to doze off when the jingle came drifting in through the window. My eyes shot open. I waited for the tune to resolve into something else as it had before, but it persisted. In disbelief, I muted my laptop, walked to the window. The streets were dark and empty. The music echoed up from what seemed like a few blocks away. I watched the streets intently. The music gradually grew distant until it could no longer be heard. I stood there for a long time afterward in a nervous daze. What the crap was happening? I was too shaken up to sleep, so I opened up my laptop, found a discussion thread on MICTs that Joel had shown me, and scrolled through looking for anything useful. There were varying theories on the origins and the intent. Most agreed that a large part was purpose for spreading the song itself. Some thought there was some part of a government mind control experiment. Others believed that they were camouflaged alien vehicles using the song to condition our brains for unknown nefarious purposes. One user theorized they were unmanned vehicles created as part of some experimental marketing strategy. The MICTSs may have never been properly shut down when the operation ended and would roam aimlessly throughout the country forever. The most outlandish theory stated they were sent from the future using the song to inject message and warnings into our dreams. I grew exasperated after reading. It was all too ridiculous to be taken seriously, whether the reports were sincere or not. These explanations were absurd and unfounded. In a last-ditch effort at some worthwhile information, I found the user who uploaded the audio file and clicked his profile. It was the same person who'd posted the graph of disappearances. I called Joel the next morning. He acted so normal, nonchalant, that I soon dismissed the idea of a prank. When I reluctantly told him of the incident, he sounded almost excited. No effing way. For real, that's crazy. To go back down all the way, he says, he went back to his laptop, found the audio link. He mentally prepared himself, heard the song started. The melody seemed more jarring and unsettling than I remembered. As I looped it over and over, I strained to hear the fake noises in the background. They seemed more pronounced when I focused on them. There was a wet, squishy noise, and if I listened very carefully, something that resembled a low, croaking voice. He left to go get groceries, saw a neighbor in the driveway. She asked if she heard anything odd the night before. She said no. I decided he probably wouldn't be much help. His warning sounded more unhinged paranoia. So the guy who started all this said, "Hey there, glad you got in touch. I can chat tomorrow anytime after 11 a.m. If you've seen anything MICT related, then please avoid the topic entirely for now. Get off the site. Don't listen to or read or talk about anything. Just chill a bit. Trust me on this. I'll fill you in later." When I returned home, something was off about the house. The air inside felt warm, slightly moist. There was a faint scent of something sickly sweet, like rotting vegetation. And it goes on. Now, this is so long. Okay. Um, Something about the truck came by. They knocked against almost a violent pounding, so forceful it rattled the windows, sent a wall hanging, clattering to the floor, holding back a scream. I scrambled backwards for the stairway. I needed to check the porch and street, gathering every ounce of courage and righteous anger I could manage. I opened the door, stepped out, I aimed the camera up and down the street. There was nothing. It said there, it says, I glanced up. There's an old cherry tree in front of my yard, which extends high above the house. It looked at first like a series of oddly shaped branches hung down. I saw one shoe, then another, then a pant leg. These were not branches, but legs and feet. My gaze followed them upward, and I finally understood what I was seeing. There were two figures sitting in the tree above me, nearly 30 feet off the ground. They were perfectly still. Their warped, stretched out heads peered down at me through the dark. They began making low, repetitive clucking sounds. The sound could have indicated anything, but to me it resembled laughter. I remained on the stairway, too scared to move or act for almost an hour. I was not being pursued or attacked. The MICTs were real. Could no longer deny that, but it seemed I was safe for the time. And it just goes on to how he talked to the guy that originally put this information out. To date, this was my last encounter with an MICT. I've not been back to that house or town since. I've reached the end of my story and the part where I've come to clean about my intention. And it just talks, about how odd this all was him. I know that was very long, and I'm sorry, there's a purpose to this. Most of you are like, what is she doing today? Why am I telling you this? Because I feel like a lot of times, whatever we read on the internet is all like predictive programming. If you know anything about Project Mockingbird and what the CIA has done to control what people think and feel, there's obviously child trafficking that happens in Virginia, right? Can we all agree on that? I don't personally believe in aliens. I believe in fallen angel technology because that is biblical, right? That's biblical. I think that if an angel can take the form of a person, a good angel, because Jesus says, be careful when you entertain a stranger, you may be entertaining an angel. So if Jesus says, hey, look, angels can take human form, then wouldn't they technically be almost like shapeshifters in the fact that they could also take the form of something that you would be terrified of, right? I mean, just think about it. Think about all the mythology and all the untold written histories that for some reason people think don't count, right? If it's not written, it's not real. But you're talking about thousands of years of history that people didn't write things down because paper, you couldn't go to Walmart, folks, and get a notebook and a pen, right? Writing something to leave a record would have been extremely difficult. So think about all the oral history that we share. This is how we share oral history now. We get on internet, we get on YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, and we share things. Well, those things can be twisted, right? So I want you to hear this. Over 100 children have gone missing in Virginia, and rumors claim a creepy ice cream truck being spotted every single night. They published this August 18th, 2025. It started with TikToks and Facebook posts that spread like wildfire, claims that more than 100 children had vanished across Virginia in just a week, and that this creepy ice cream truck was cruising neighborhoods late at night. The story had all the elements of a nightmare: missing kids, a suspicious vehicle, and an eerie soundtrack playing after dark. But as the panic grew, authorities stepped in with a different picture of what was really happening. And this is what irritates me. It says between August 3rd and August 9th, law enforcement agencies in Virginia reported 88 children listed as missing. At first glance, that seems shocking. Social media videos made it even scarier, showing screenshots of missing children from the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children's website. The rumors deepened when a Facebook post began circulating. It describes an ice cream truck passing through neighborhoods late at night, blasting music. Have y'all been seeing these stories on a lot of missing kids from Virginia over the past week? And an ice cream truck keeps going through early every night, really late. I've been following it. Of course, people jumped on the bandwagon. Oh, I've seen it. I've seen it. I've seen it. I've seen it. Doing this job, there's something I realized. People lie. They lie to fit in. They lie to feel relevant. They lie because their own imagination will convince them that they saw it. Now keep listening. There's a reason I'm telling you all this. Look at this. Data backs up police 88 children reported missing during that week in August. The state's average weekly number is 98. 98 children a week. 98 children a week go missing in Virginia alone. Good Lord. And they're like, oh, calm down. 88 is actually 10 less than we normally get. Most of them are just runaways that return home shortly after going missing. Stop worrying, you little people. We know where our kids are. Do you? Do you know where the children are? Now, I am banned on TikTok. Not once, not twice, but 3 times. 3 times TikTok has banned me. I don't cuss. I don't show inappropriate materials, but I do speak truth. So YouTube doesn't pay me. TikTok has banned me. If you'd like to row in my boat, send $1, send $10 for a coffee, or $25 for, meat for the dogs for dinner tonight. You can look in the top of comments. There are ways to do that. Now, I was unable to check the soundtracks. Folks, listen to me. When you are listening to TikToks, there's like a background, right? If you start noticing like the children in Gaza, people being shot at in Gaza TikToks, they're using a soundtrack and they just put people running with the same bullet sounds over and over and over again. That means that what you're looking at is fake. Because I can't get on TikTok to check to see if this is a soundtrack of music all these people are using, or if these are legitimate individual videos, I can't tell you if these are real or fake. So keep that in mind.
Bro, is this shit not creepy? Yo, is this shit not creepy? What kind of bullshit, bro? The ice cream truck pulling up at 9 o'clock. Sounding mad distorted. Slowly creeping up. Yo, I'm about to get kidnapped, bro. What the fuck? He just sitting there too. There's no kids. It's not quiet.
Very, very odd.
Bro. You got it.
Same time, bro. Same time, different day. You motherfuckers are mad. Hey, you ain't getting away today, motherfucker.
They seem to all be playing the same sound as well.
No, they don't. No, they don't. He said they're all playing the same sound. No, they're not. They're using the same. Come on, you music people. Tell me what I'm looking for. The same high pitch, like that, instead of do 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 do. You see what I'm saying? but it's completely different songs because the first one was Pop Goes the Weasel. I taught kindergarten, first grade. And the second song was something else. And the third one was completely different, but it's the same kind of tinkling noise. And if you know anything about being hypnotized, they use those frequency of sounds to do it.
Oh, hell no. Oh, hell no. Bro. Bro, no. 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 No, 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 no.
What's happening, Night God family? Hope y'all are doing well this evening.
Okay, that caught me off guard. I jumped. I don't really like horror movies. So I found that one. Let's talk about the history. We're not near done. So if you click off now because you're like, oh, she's not getting in it, you haven't seen anything yet.
If that isn't the sound of summer, I don't know what is. Nothing signals summer quite like the all too familiar jingle of the ice cream truck coming down your street, in this case, the Good Humor Man. And while ice cream bars and trucks have been childhood staples for more than 100 years, not all of the history has been so sweet. Museum of Ice Cream co-founder and co-CEO Manish Vora joins us now to discuss the lesser-known history of one of America's most loved summer treats. Thanks so much for being with us. So let's just talk about what factors have helped make ice cream and ice cream bars sold through ice cream trucks so popular across the United States.
Well, it's accessibility. The ice cream truck, emerged in the 1920s, and by the 1950s, it was ubiquitous. And of course, that corresponded with the rise of refrigeration and freezing. So, ice cream is really tied to technology in many ways. But that Good Humor, Harry Burt, he started only with 12 trucks, ended up becoming 2,000 trucks by 1950s.
And we're gonna talk about the song in a little bit, but I feel like it's, if you grew up in the last 50 years or whatever, since whatever they were out there, there's like something in your DNA that just responds to
That's right.
You don't know if it's a block away or seven blocks away.
You don't care.
But
as soon as you hear it, you're like,
can hear
it. Ice cream!
Yeah, completely. And I'm going to tell a side story, and I'm going to make it really, really quick. When I was working in Philadelphia, I was doing a overnight thing with the police where I was in the police car with them as they were going to, through, and then they had a raid, and we were there with our cameramen in the middle of this raid at 10 o'clock at night. The ice cream truck was coming through and everyone sort of stopped. But anyways, let's talk about how did we go from ice cream parlors.
Okay, that's what I wanted you to hear. A couple of things there. They always tell us the truth. They are forced to tell you and I the truth. We're trained when we hear that sound, ice cream. It is like it's in our what? DNA. She even admitted that ice cream trucks in Philadelphia were going by at 10 p.m. at night. A lot of people do not realize that. The reason they run so late, especially in the summer months, June, July, and August, when this trend started again of the ice cream trucks to kidnap kids, it's because it's flipping summer in 2025 and it's hot. A lot of places don't have air conditionings. So you got summer, hot, humid nights, Chicago, all those places. And what's happening is the ice cream trucks have traditionally run later in the evening when kids are, used to be at least, still out moving about. So I don't know that it's so odd to see them after it's completely dark. Take that into consideration. Now, this one irritated me because first off, this video got 7 million views. If you see blood on an ice cream truck, stay away. It's so fake. It's so staged. And yet people still watch these types of idiots.
Holy crap, you guys. Yo, I haven't seen that truck in years. Dude, what is it doing here?
Why are you so freaked out about an ice cream truck?
I'll explain everything in the car. Come here. Guys, I haven't seen that truck in years. What the heck is going on? Hey, listen, that truck disappeared about 10 years ago, you guys, and I honestly haven't heard a word about it in so long, up until right now when it just drove by. Oh no, don't tell me this is another cursed vehicle.
Wait, how do you...
And people really believe people like this. They believe that is worse than a B-rated movie in acting. Now this this story right here gives the meaning ice cream a whole new meaning. Slidell ice cream truck sells meth. On the streets, meth is known as ice. While searching the ice cream truck, detectives found melted ice cream in the freezer along with methamphetamine or ice and other drug paraphernalia. This was in Louisiana. I remember this story. This was back in 2023. Slidell police arrested an ice cream truck driver accused of selling meth. 42-year-old Tamisha Morin sold methamphetamine out of the blue school bus that had been repurposed to an ice cream truck. This is how drug addicts always end up getting caught because they're so strung out on drugs, they don't know how to think anymore. No brake lights and expired license plate. You're driving around in a school bus that's repurposed to look like an ice cream truck, but you're too lazy to get your license plate updated and get your tail light fixed, and they're going to pull you over and search you. That's how many people get caught, doing bad things. Now, and this is a New York article from 2019 where 46 ice cream trucks were impounded over $4.5 million in tickets. I thought it was funny. An angry ice cream truck owner looked on as New York sheriff's officers seized and impounded 46 of their vehicles. The truck owners racked up $4.5 million in fines between 2009 and 2017 by creating dozens of shell companies to mask the ownership. 22,000 summons have been accrued, included violations for running red lights, parking near fire hydrants, and blocking pedestrian crosswalks. Some trucks even lacked working brakes. Officers at the impound lot on Long Island told the city told the Eagle, you guys, they never go on to say who actually owned these trucks. I'm pretty sure it's an immigrant because they don't think they have to follow our rules. I know, get mad at me. I don't care. So let's see if my computer's going to let me show this without fizzing out the video. If it doesn't, just know this. There's a child trafficking issue in this country. I've not found any correlation between ice cream trucks in Virginia and missing children. There's not one video of a child being snatched and put into a vehicle. There's not one parent getting on TV saying, we heard the ice cream jingle. My kid ran outside. Now we don't have my child. The only correlation is people on the internet telling you, oh, oh, wow, look, kids are going missing in Virginia and look, ice cream trucks. They must be the reason the children are missing. They're not telling you why they're missing, how they're missing, none of that. So again, I don't know if I believe it because I'm a deep thinker and I just don't see the evidence of what people are telling me. Have you guys heard about the missing kids in Virginia? They're saying it's the ice cream trucks in the middle of the night. This is like a TV thriller. How could this be happening? Because chances are it's not. Chances are this is another missing children in Maui situation. They want us all looking left at the ice cream trucks when we should all be looking right at the human trafficking rings that happened in Maui. They wanted everybody looking for 2,000 missing children rather than focusing in on the fact that hundreds of them burned to death in a fire. I'm just saying, guys, It's a great story. There's no evidence. Just a lot of people at their windows going, what? You know, getting clickbait and using the F word. Look, she's making a big deal from hearing it. And it's obviously daylight. Yeah, I agree with this person. The bystander effect really makes me mad. Do you see an ice cream truck in your neighborhood at night? Chase it down. Be like, dude, it is a 9 o'clock. Let me see your license. Who are you? Why are you in my neighborhood? Record the entire thing. But don't stand at the window during the daytime going, what? What? For clicks, it's clickbait, dude. For real. Come on, man.
While this is just a theory, it's still very strange.
It reads the fact they all got tricked by an ice cream truck. All those are half grown. Look at the age of these. There it goes. I knew it's going to do it. It's not going to let me show you guys. Sorry. There's something going on with X, Twitter. Some of those must have viruses on their videos. It's just my computer will not control it, will not allow me to show it, so to speak. A lot of the kids in Virginia are in that, 11 to 17-year-old age. It's not ice cream trucks. It's cartels. All those kids are being taken for one specific purpose, and it's not to make more ice cream for someone else to eat. We all know what it's for. Again, we do not get paid by YouTube. If you'd like to support our channel, look in the top. I've got a great video coming up about donut clouds and what in the world that is, and how they have created a dome effect with the weather. And that's not conspiracy. I've actually got facts. But I did want to share this because even though I love a good story, there's no correlation between the ice cream trucks that have been going around America for 60 plus years now and all the kids missing in Virginia. Instead of blaming it on the ice cream truck, go out there and figure out who's taking your kids. Have a blessed day, folks.